what to expect when you call an ambulance in Germany. Thank you for Simple Germany YouTube channel for the amazing suggestion. I'm guessing a lot of good things compared to the US.
Yeah,
Let's get
let's
started.
go.
In July this year, I had to call an ambulance to pick up Yvonne. It was quite a scare, and it was my very first time calling an ambulance in Germany. In this video, we will break down everything that happened so you're prepared if you ever need to call an ambulance in Germany. We will also talk about the big question of how much did it cost to get an ambulance.
First, let's discuss when to call an ambulance. Of course, if it's an emergency, a medical emergency that is, then you should call an ambulance. Now, of course, emergencies come in any shapes and sizes. According to the Medical Helpline's website, if a situation is life-threatening or there is a risk of permanent injury, then you should call the emergency number.
It is very important.
It's tricky in Canada because we care a lot about mental health in Canada. And there's a lot of people that have like panic attack.
Yeah.
When you think that you're going to have a heart attack, but it's not a heart attack. And you call the ambulance for your panic attack because you think that you're having a heart attack. So sometimes you end up paying sometimes you can pay a tax if you call the ambulance, but it was not a medical emergency. But in Canada, you're not going to pay a lot for the ambulance because healthcare is free.
Yeah.
So
important to point out for you to not call the emergency number if it's not an emergency. And here's a little kind of like decision chart that we prepared so you have a better understanding of what to do in what scenarios. If you're feeling generally sick and it's during working hours, then you should go to your Hausarzt, which is a general practitioner. You don't have to have a specific Hausarzt. We talk about how to find a doctor in Germany in a video that you can check out up here.
If you're feeling generally sick and you would like medical attention, but it's during the evening, Wednesday afternoons when doctors tend to be closed, or on the weekend or public holidays, then you can call or use the help of the on-call services in Germany. If you speak German, you can call the 116 117. Why do we specify the language? They say specifically on the website it's only available in German. Once you talk to them, they will identify a situation, either send you to the ER, send you to an on-call doctor, or tell you how else to proceed.
wow.
Yes, they would also tell you which pharmacy is around you that is open during this time. Or also they will guide you if you need to call an ambulance. Maybe they call it for you or they will tell you what to do.
I'm not aware of this in Canada. Something similar to us sucks. The only thing that we have is 911. Like you want to call, you say, oh, I am sick, you have an ambulance, or you need to drive yourself to the hospital or to the clinic. There's not someone that you can call that's going to tell you, okay, you need to go there, you need to go there.
Yeah, here too, actually.
Yeah, right?
Actually, no, in Thailand, there's a lot of like number that you can call sometime, but mostly when people panic, they either go by themselves or like call an ambulance. But of course, like the accident on the side of the road, thing like that, you call an ambulance because you cannot like help them, right? You need to make sure that there's a nurse or something. But like, or like sometime when you are elder sick at home and you don't have a car or anything, you can call them because like in Thailand, every sub-district, they're gonna provide that service for you anyway. So you don't have to pay. And also like the hospital will be in every district, and like the, how do you call it, like health center will be in like every sub-district. And then they're gonna send to the district, and then if it's really like emergency, like they cannot do anything, then they're gonna, the hospital in the district gonna send you to the province, like the big hospital.
I'm sure that we have something similar in Canada. I just never, me or any of my family member, had to use an ambulance before.
Oh, well.
So maybe I just don't know all the number.
Yeah, it's like my transportation already when I was young. Because,
Why?
Because of my grandmom. Like she's sick all the time, and like back then, like I cannot drive the car, right? When I was a kid, and then like have to call them all the time, and even like we have the private number for the driver. That's why we can get in life for thing like that.
Because Suji was raised by our grandparents.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we have, but I just
you don't speak German, then there are two things you can do. Number one, you could check the on-call doctors also on the 116 117 website, which we will leave the link in the description box below. There you put your postal code, and then you would have the list of doctors that could be available. And you could also check for the Notapotheke, which is the
Huh.
on-call pharmacy, on aponet.de, which we will also leave in the description box below if you are looking for over-the-counter
Never seen
medicine.
anything like this.
Very important is also that if you're still capable of moving yourself and it is not an emergency, that you don't present yourself in the ER, but really seek the services that we just described to you beforehand.
Yes, when I was very fresh in Germany, I had a very severe cold, which I thought I was dying in the middle of the night. I couldn't find any medicine. I actually walked into the ER and they totally told me to go home. I didn't get any medicine.
No, but this is because there's a problem in Canada. There's people that go to the ER when their problem is not serious, and then people that are very serious have to wait. You need to understand that, like, the ER, it's for the emergency because there's a limited number of doctors and there's a lot of people that need serious help right now. It's serious. So if you go there and you don't need emergency, you're like blocking the people that need an emergency. You're like in the way.
Yeah.
So that's why. That's the only reason why. If there was enough doctor all the time, okay, go do whatever you want. But because it's limited number of doctor and you need an emergency to pass quickly, if you're not an emergency, like, don't go there. And in Canada, sometimes it became a problem. People that go for any like stupid reason.
Yeah, here too sometimes like, but they will, they will make a decision, right? The nurse, if you go there, but if no one there, they can take care of you. But then their emergency case after you, of course, they're gonna need to go check that emergency first. But they're not gonna tell you to go home yet. But you have to wait like until everything like settled, thing like that.
Or anything, so it was really a big effort to go there, and I came back empty-handed. I cried in bed alone because I didn't know what to do, and I wish I would have known there was no apothekes or emergency pharmacies that I could have gone to get some medication for my cold.
But here in Thailand, you're gonna need to get something back with you, like maybe like a Tylenol thing like that. They have to give you something anyway. Yeah, you don't need to go buy at the pharmacy yourself.
But since this video is about how to call an ambulance, let's talk about what number to call when there is an emergency. For medical emergencies or fire, it's the 112. If you need the police, it's 110. And if you're calling from your mobile phone, if you're dialing 911, it gets automatically redirected to 112. Either way, one of the three numbers, they will
This is probably because foreigners don't know the number. So 911 is redirected to 112.
direct you and help you with the right attention that you need.
Yes, and they will also dispatch the correct people that need to be dispatched. So if you call the police, but it needs to be an ambulance, they will take care of it. So don't think it has to be super strict on only this number will help you out. So to give you more context, we can talk about what was our emergency. So Yvonne had been feeling sick throughout the day, normally I would say, until...
But the sick, where I say, I don't need a doctor, I'll just sleep it off.
Yes, and the thing is that she was vomiting and then she had diarrhea and then she spent the whole day in bed. Around 4 p.m.
So
she got up to go to the bathroom. Luckily, I was there with her because she looked very weak, I would say. So I was just there to see if everything was going well. After she finished going to the bathroom, she got up and then suddenly she held to the door frame and the sink and her eyes crossed, like went high up. It was really scary. And then she passed out.
Poisoning,
I thought in that moment, actually, she was having a seizure just because of the way her face looked. She was unconscious for a few seconds. And when she gained consciousness again, she was soaked in sweat. Literally, I have never seen Yvonne sweat so much. And she couldn't get up the floor. There was no chance for her to get up because she was so weak. So in this case, I called 112 to ask for an ambulance. So what will they ask you when you call the 112?
Hey, in America, if you call the ER, let's say you have a dog, right? And your dog eats chocolate and you call the ER, it will cost you $100 just for them to give you an advice.
Yeah.
Like if they want to tell you, oh, go to the emergency, they cannot even tell you that. You need to pay $100 for them to give you their expertise. It's crazy, huh?
That's so Wow,
It's literally it's the fee of admission. It's like when you call the ambulance in the US, it's almost $1,000 just for you to get into the ambulance. So basically, it's crazy, huh? Because they don't have free health care. So everything has a price tag on it.
Wait, what if you already have help like by insurance?
Oh, if you have insurance, yes, they will take care of it. But the problem with the insurance in America is that a lot of things don't count in the insurance. That the little detail will happen at the hospital that suddenly it's not like counting the insurance. Or what will happen often is that if you don't have insurance, the ambulance will call a $1,000. But if you have insurance, the ambulance would cost $3,000 because they know that you have insurance, right?
3,000.
But your insurance will only pay 1,800 or 2,000 of the 3,000. So you end up paying the same amount or more if you have insurance than no insurance. Sometimes it's better to not have the insurance because you end up paying less because your insurance doesn't cover everything. It's crazy in the US.
So very important is for you to remain calm and provide as short and concise information as possible. I started the call in German saying, I'm sorry, my medical Deutsch is not so good in German. And the guy replied in English, no problem. Then he proceeded to ask me what happened. I told him my wife is unconscious, was unconscious on the floor. She can't get up. Where are you? I gave my address, how many people are involved, is your wife injured in any sense? They also asked, is she conscious in this moment? And literally, it was just a gathering of information. He said paramedics are on their way, and we hung up. It's a very straightforward call, and the more calm and precise you are, the faster the person will be able to dispatch the right help for you. So how long did it take for the ambulance to get here?
So I think it's quick in every country that I know that I've been to, except in Cambodia. In Cambodia, sometimes they don't even pick the phone. But it's fast in Thailand too, right?
Yeah, because they have every sport, and also some of the group they work for free, but like a NGO thing like
Yeah,
that.
there's volunteer
Yeah.
ambulance in Thailand too.
Also, but that one you need to know that they're not gonna have the nurse with you sometime. Like the one that I call for a snake.
So she had a snake emergency that the snake was in the house charging at her.
Snake didn't do anything to me though.
She called the volunteer snake handler with their like
They're
kind of
not
emergency.
even like volunteer for a snake. Like they're how do I call that guy? The rescue man. They do everything.
Yeah, they rescue people,
Yeah.
animal. She had to
Yeah.
call one of them to come here.
Yeah.
Or other house.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
The time the ambulance takes to arrive somewhere,
5 to 10 minutes, an ambulance usually, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
it's really
also
quick.
depends like if it's close to
Yeah,
us.
usually it's going to be quite fast.
according to the research that I did, highly depends on the severity of the medical emergency, the location, and the availability, of course. In our case, from the moment I hung up until the moment the
10
paramedics
minutes,
had
5
parked
to
their
10
vehicle,
minutes.
got out of the
10
car,
minutes.
got up to our house, and were actually checking Yvonne's vitals, were 10 minutes. I found that
I know every country, I would say it's one thing about the ambulance. It's fast in most countries that I've been traveling.
super fast.
Now, who arrives in the ambulance? In our case, it was 2 paramedics. That was enough for us because, again, like you said, my case wasn't as severe. However, we've also seen and done research that in really severe cases, life or death, there's typically a second car arriving, and that is with a doctor on call, typically called the notarzt.
Same in Canada, from what I remember. 2 people, sometimes 3. Is it the same in Thailand?
Yeah. A nurse though mostly.
A nurse behind, and then someone driving, and that's it?
No, maybe 2 nurses. It really depends on like the situation. Like for me, when I got accident, there were 2 nurses, 1 guy.
So she had a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, on the mountain.
2 weeks after we met or something. She was driving in the mountain with her motorbike and she fell on the floor. Do you still have the photo to show the people?
I'm not sure, but
If you have the photo,
I
show them
sent
here.
it to you. Yeah, and like the doctor was traveling, but he not on the job on the work, right? It's work up whatever, and he said like my leg broken, thing like that, and then they called ambulance. It came really quick, even it's on the mountain. Yeah, thing like that.
Your leg was not broken.
No.
In my case, they bombarded me with a million questions to see my mental state and to learn about my health history. They did a few quick checkups, my vitals. They did quick EKG to check that my heart is fine. They tested my blood sugar, like pretty much all the regular things to see that I'm stable. And then they suggested that they could take me to the hospital for further treatment, especially getting IV fluids and an extended test of my heart, and just to observe that I won't fade again.
Now, what should you prepare if you're not the person in the emergency and you're in the position to help? Luckily, I would say we were at home. So as the paramedics arrived, I started packing a medical bag or a hospital bag just in case we would go to the hospital. And there I packed snacks, books, sweaters, water, but most importantly, the health insurance card. That is like the number one priority that needs to be accessible because
Do you need to pack anything like this? Like the card? Or?
If it's emergency, no, I
No.
don't need a card. But if you have private insurance, of course, I think it need to go with you. But usually when they check your card, they already know. Yeah, your card, your ID card.
There's the
to
ID.
be with you.
Yeah.
Because when you were being taken to the hospital, the first thing the paramedic asked, where is your health insurance card?
Yes, they actually already took that in the house and used that during the drive and also handed it to the hospital staff.
Now, how much did all of this cost?
Okay, let's guess. In Canada, it's free, but I think there's like some kind of tax per province. I think in Quebec it's free where I'm from, but I think in Canada it's like a tax per province, but it's like $30, $40. It's really not expensive. In the US, it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and in Thailand it's free, right?
In Thailand, it's free, but I think it's also the same in every country. But free, we don't have a choice, right? They give whatever to you.
What do you mean?
You understand? Like, for example, my granddad, right? He in emergency, but this the doctor said you need this medication. We have to order from overseas. Like it
Oh,
one pill like 3,000 baht per pill, just one tablet.
$100.
Yeah, thing like that. That means we need to pay extra for that.
So everything is free unless they need to import things in.
Yes, thing like that. Or accident, like you got broken leg, thing like that.
Yeah.
And apparently your motorcycle, well, usually the motorbike or the car, you need to have insurance anyway. But the thing is that like if it's like over cost, like for example, my brother, right, he got into an accident in another province.
Another province.
Yeah. That hospital gonna ask the money for you, like
Oh.
5,000 or 8,000.
It's only free if you're in your province?
Yes, or some extra spending. I'm not sure about that. But this year, they said no matter where you are, you don't need to pay. I'm not even sure
Except
because
if they send you in a private hospital,
yeah,
right?
private hospital, that's gonna be another thing. For example, in Bangkok, some private hospital, they even reject you, like they not even want to take you in.
But if you're an accident here at this house and they send you to the public hospital here, it's going to be free for you, right?
Usually, it's free for 7 days.
For 7 days?
Yeah, but usually, like I said, this year I not even like follow the rule or anything. They said it's free everywhere for us. Also, we can also transfer the hospital like 5 times per year. Like for example, if I move a lot, thing like that.
Because one thing that people don't know is that
Oh shit, overheat.
shit. What are you doing?
My nail.
Guys, what happened now is that our phone overheated. It's 5 p.m. and it's 30 Celsius in Thailand. If you want to support us so we can buy a camera, so it's never going to overheat. Where's my glasses?
Yeah.
You can we have a buy me a coffee, a channel membership, super thanks. If we make enough money, we're gonna be able to buy a camera, so we're never going to be able to overeat.
Long pause. Until today, we have not received any invoice asking for us to pay for the ambulance. If an invoice were to come, the maximum amount that we would pay is 10 euros. You heard that right. That is 10 euros. That's because in Germany we have universal healthcare. So the whole thing of Ivan being transferred to the hospital being...
Wait, it's free in Thailand too.
Oh,
The
true.
ambulance, right?
Yeah. Oh, true, actually.
Yeah,
I think Thailand is the best.
checked up, making sure she's okay, getting the IV fluids. So far, it didn't cost us a cent. That's because every month we pay public health insurance. Now, if you were to pay for something that you were in the hospital, let's say if you have to stay one night, that could cost also 10 euros, or the ambulance 10 euros. Usually how it would go is that you would get an invoice through the postal mail service, which then you need to transfer. And if you have private health insurance, then you would need to pay first and you would get a reimbursement.
From your health insurance.
From your health insurance, yes.
In the hospital, I was taken very seriously. I got medical attention from the nurse and the doctor on call. Like I said before, they did further checkups like blood examinations, a longer test on my heart. They also did an ultrasound on my organs in my belly area. Everything turned out totally fine. I was just extremely weak. This is also why it took several IV fluids to get me back on speed. And I stayed, I think, around like 5 to 6 hours in the hospital until they released me.
So what was wrong with Yvonne? After this whole scare, we actually learned that I said we because I was also, but I didn't experience this.
Actually, here. I think like in Thailand, right, the difference is if I'm in the situation as her, they're just gonna check my poo, my blood, thing like that. But anything inside my belly, like for example, you need to use the camera, to check it.
It costs money?
No, I cannot do it that day. If I go to the public hospital, I
Oh.
have to wait in the line. Like
Oh.
they're gonna give you a paper, like the appointment that you need to come this day, this time, thing like that. That's the difference. That's why in my head I'm always thinking like public hospital, even it's free, but it's not good. Like we're still in the lower class for that. We still have to wait for everything until we die, thing like that. That happened to a lot of people.
Well, in Canada, it's a little bit similar. I had a cornea transplant and I had to wait 3 years to get it for free at the public hospital. So in Montreal. So
Symptoms, we got food poisoning. And that's because we had cooked lentils
what-
at home and
that's what I thought at the beginning. The symptom that you described it, I got food poisoning from the sushi, remember? I was pooping in my sleep.
But actually, it happened to you a lot for the food poisoning at the beginning.
Well, when you are from Canada and you go to Thailand or you go, as I've said, you go to Cambodia, every time that you go to a new country, the air, the humidity, the food, it's all new. And for me, my body, it takes me a month to adjust. At the beginning, I'm very sensible to any kind of
I'm not really have that kind of problem, but I really want to know if I have to go to cold country. Do I need to do? Am I gonna have food poisoning? Or like I don't have to poop.
I don't think so.
we ate them and they were undercooked. And as it turns out, any legumes, I think that's the right pronunciation in English, meaning any beans, lentils, chickpeas, also if you undercook them or you eat them undercooked, they're highly poisonous. And hold and behold, Yvonne was highly poisoned.
And Jen was resistant to it all.
It's the Guatemalan training. Another question is, how do you get home from the hospital? So the ambulance, if they will transport you to the hospital, that's kind of like the end of when you see them. They will not wait around to take you back home. That's not how it works.
I've never seen a country where the ambulance wait for you at the hospital. And
Yeah,
take you
no.
home. No, that's I've never heard this. You need to get home your own way, right? I mean, I don't know any country where they wait for you and
Actually, like in the hospital, right, the local hospital, they're gonna ask you, anyone come pick you up, or you are in the condition that you cannot stay at the hospital anymore, or it like you are almost, they said like you can live in 2 days, like you still need, no, 2 months, thing like that. Like you in a really weird condition, yeah, they're gonna bring you back home.
Oh, really? The hospital? That's
For
good.
that.
That's for free?
Because for free. Because they need like the oxygen thing like that, or medical thing for you.
Yeah.
Or like
They drop.
or like sometimes like they're gonna ask you if you don't have anyone to pick you up. Yeah.
They're gonna do it?
Yeah, if that day they are available, like no case anymore, they can bring you.
You off, hand you over to the hospital, and that's it. From the hospital, you are responsible to get home through your own measures. That's either taxi, public transportation, having a friend, family member come and pick you up. Very important is that if you are in no condition to get into any public transportation or anything, you could ask the doctor to provide you a paper that's called the Transportschein. This is pretty much kind of like a voucher that will help you later to submit that paper to your health insurance for them to reimburse the money from either the taxi or any other shuttle service that you take.
Oh, basically, it's like you, but you don't have that paper. They just do it for you. You know? Yeah. It's similar to what they're saying here.
Oh yeah, you can get the paper too. Like in the
you can?
word condition.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
thing like that. Or the other thing is like I said, right? If you know the person in the sub-district, like you know each other, you have his number, you just try to call him. Like, are you free? Can you pick me up? He can come to pick me
Who's
up.
that person?
The person who drives the ambulance on the
really?
sub-district.
You can call him.
Yeah, thing like that. If he
It's a
have
volunteer, what we talked about earlier, right?
True, he more like volunteer. But the thing is that this person did not really get like a lot of salary.
No, to do it for free?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you have a real job, like a full-time job after that?
Yeah, they have real job, but I think these days they probably get some salary, but really low. I'm not sure. Like they work in the more like government. I think they put everything in the site already. I think it's probably better now.
This transportation is called Krankentransport, and some health insurances cover that. However, this is not the norm. I would say this has to be very extreme for a doctor to be able to issue such a paper. Generally speaking, you need to find your way home. So in our case, the paramedic suggested that if we have a car, to follow the ambulance, because if I would go with Yvonne in the ambulance, that would mean we would need to get a taxi back home. So that's what I did. Since we have a car, I followed the ambulance to the hospital, parked the vehicle, went to the ER section, found Yvonne, saw that everything was okay, and when she was released by the doctor, then I drove home with Yvonne in the car.
If you're ever in a situation that goes beyond the general sickness, in Jen's case, me fainting and sweating profusely, then better call 112 to make sure that if they assess the situation also as emergency, you get the right attention or further guidance. When it comes to health insurance in Germany, you get that peace of mind where you can focus on helping the sick or yourself and not worrying about what it will cost you. If you would like to know more about health insurance and whether public or private health insurance is the correct one for you,
click here.
It's rare that you love it.
Here, we have more video. If you just watch this video, you're gonna like this one. Either a playlist or a video right here. Yes. We have more that's just after dog.